Braydin Darskii.
If you're under 14, I don't really want you watching this video. Tell me a story. Why are you here? So at Catholic camp on the second day, it was really about self-evaluation and like where you are with God and where you are in that journey together and like why are you here? Pause. I apologize if this is slightly out of order. At this point, it's been like a year and a half since I've done porn, and as far as withdrawals go, like physically it never went past a 3. Like emotionally it's been like an 8. Miss porn. Ugh. But this night, the night that I'm about to share the next puzzle piece, everything was like about an 8 on intensity and just like withdrawals and aches and like, oh. So one piece of my puzzle was like a couple days before camp. I was laying in bed trying to go to sleep, and this just overwhelming of like craving porn, just like I was about an 8, and I was just like, oh, I was just overwhelmed with swirls and craziness, and all just like ache for porn, just oh, that was. So on one hand, I knew if I had one moment of porn, everything would have subsided, and I would have felt normal again. Or on the other hand, I reached for my phone, and I started vlogging myself. All the reasons why not to go down that road, why not to dive into porn, and all the consequences that are hiding inside. And that's where this Venom toy comes into play. But I'm still sorting that video, so when it's done, it'll be in the description below. So that's the outlet I chose. I chose to like all the reasons why not to go down that road. So anyway, a couple days go by and we're at camp, and there's this incredible talk right before confessions that really primed people for confession. And so I got into the confessional and I say my small time stuff. You know, I apologize, I'm telling this out of order. Another piece of the puzzle that I actually didn't know till today, when I was pulling thoughts out of my head and feelings out of my heart and just organizing all the experiences, and I was like, wait a minute. I don't know when God started this, but for at least a month and a half before camp, I started growing in like unsettled curiosity, like, is masturbation in of itself sinful? And I was like, you know what? And the curiosity just kept on growing, and I eventually got to the point I'm like, you know what? Camp is like in a couple weeks. I'll just ask Father while I'm in the confessional, and if it is, I'll conveniently already be there. So anyway, now back to being in confessional with Father. I was confessing my small time stuff, and then I was like, Father, I know masturbation with porn is sinful, but is masturbation without porn sinful? And he's like, yep. It's like, oh, it hit me like a hammer. But there were also some good things about it that I didn't see coming. That was a pleasant surprise. It felt like if you're going camping, and at the end of the long day of backpacking, you take off that bag, and you're like, oh, wow, I didn't know how heavy that bag was or how much pain I was in until I took it off. Wow. Or another parallel that I love, that's supposed to be parallel lines. Another parallel that I love is like being in the room with a smoker. And like when you first get in that room, like it's so much overwhelming nastiness, you just want to jump out of your skin and escape the scene. But the longer you're there, the more you get used to that nastiness, and it kind of fades into normality, until eventually you get that breath of fresh air. Like, oh, I can breathe clearer, I can think clearer. It's like, wow. I was having that moment in the confessional, but not emotionally. I was like, oh, Father, I was really hoping for a different answer. And he's like, yeah, it can be hard, but not impossible. It's like, there is this super grace that exists, and if it didn't, celibate priests wouldn't be a thing. So next time it's hard, just picture Father Tim. And he's like, that grace is real. You just have to ask for it. So anyway, the next day, oh no, before we get there. So as he's wrapping up my session in confession, he's giving me absolution, and there's just this overwhelming of like, I don't even know how to describe it. It was just goodness. I called it like a Holy Spirit massage. It was just like so heavy in the goodness, and I couldn't really move. I didn't want to move. But I knew I had to get up for the next person in line for confession. So he's like, granted me absolution, and I was like, I got up, and it was just so much effort to get up. I was like, ugh! Oh man, I wish there were some relatable experiences to it that I could just say the word and I'd remember it. But now I just remember it being overwhelmingly good, and I just have the echo of it. You know, it's not like I could say it was like hot chocolate and I could drink hot chocolate, be like, I remember that time in confessional. No, I don't have any relatable experience to it. The closest thing I can get to is like a Holy Spirit massage in the whole body, like inside and out. I was like, oh, I feel so good and I don't want to get up, but I had to. So anyway, the next day at Catholic camp, we did small groups, and the question was presented to us, why are you here? And I opened up to my small group and I told them how 3 days ago I had that crazy gnarly craving for porn, and then last night I had that session of confession with Father, and pieces were starting to click, and I was like, oh my goodness, you guys, I was like, I was a sword in the fire of this, in the furnace, and all these swirls and craziness just going on. And then that last night in the confessional, that was the anvil. And then Father, I was like, but Father's masturbation on its own sinful? And he's like, yep. And that was the hammer coming down. And I was like, ugh. That's why I was there. The next day, it's the last day at Catholic camp. You know, when you're at Catholic camp, you got such a high on God, high on life, and you're so strong in God, and you're so strong in community, you feel invincible. And then you go into the real world, and it's just you. So I was opening up in the last session with my small group. I'm like, guys, I don't know how I'm gonna make it. I'm not gonna succumb to this. And I don't remember who said this. It's probably Father, but anyway, a voice was like, you know, before it hits you, when it hits you, or even if you get lucid in the middle of it, just start saying Hail Marys. Ask Mother Mary to be present in the situation. Make her the center of the scene. And it wasn't the first time I've heard this advice. Like, as soon as all that was said, like, floodgates of memories were opened up. And like, I remember years ago, my spiritual director said the same thing. It's like, I was talking to my priest about quitting porn for the first time, and the same advice. And I can tell you that there is no better mood kill for the sinner's mood than inviting Mother Mary to be a part of whatever's going on. She's very, very powerful. And it's been almost a month since camp, and that super grace is super impressive. And yeah, I mean, another puzzle piece is, like, I know male ejaculation is healthy, but if you're struggling to be sexually pure and trusting Jesus, you know, trusting God to take care of you, and, you know, that's one of the reasons why I made Wet Dreams. I mean, God will take care of you. It takes care of itself. You're just not going to be awake for it, which is really emotionally depressing. And that's one of my crosses. That's one of the rocks I push on. It's like, I trust in you, Jesus. I trusted you. Pushing on the rock. What's that? So there'll be a video in the description.
Yeah, it's been 9 months since camp, and I'm finally getting around to these videos, and that super grace is super impressive. Deuces.